liberation from reality? Was that the liberation? Was it
what little savings people had left? I don't know.
Yeah, liberation from stability. Liberation from stability. You liberate yourself from like economic stability. Yes, make America great. Fantastic. Really well done, guys. You're doing great. You really are outstanding. I don't know. The trends are pretty obvious, Danny. You're seeing countries come together that never come together and so deeply and committed to build economic futures and political futures and geopolitical cooperation on a level never seen before, and it's accelerated, and it's because of the last two presidents, and this one is really going to drive the stake home through the heart of the United States of America internationally, and he's doing it. I'm sad to say, but this will be Donald Trump's legacy by the end of it. And will he be so desperate as to launch a world war in order to divert from his epic failures or to stave off the inevitable collapse of a system that is already on its last legs? That's a legitimate question right now. We're talking about unstable things that are being said and done by this administration. They're saying some crazy and doing crazy things, and American people and our media and the political opposition can't somehow restrain or hold this White House accountable and limit the damage, then good luck in 2026. Is there some fairy dust that they're going to sprinkle? Is it going to make the economy good? Like, how does that work? Is Elon got robots that are going to come in and take over all the jobs, and then we could just sit back and collect UBI? Is that going to happen in 2026?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think people should be ready for the time being until something significant changes about the United States in general, politically and economically. This is the trajectory. And Trump, in so many ways, when he was elected president, he was almost elected as the standard bearer of what he inherited, and what he's done and what his people have done is take that to now a newer, bigger and a newer level. And I think this is the direction. So when you said World War III to stave off or distract from the overall collapse, that's the path. The path is a big confrontation, as controlled as possible, but without, of course, any capacity to control for it. We have the U.S. about to pull out of the New START treaty. That's it. That's it. There's no more nuclear treaties left anymore.
No guardrails. The guardrails are gone.
None. And you have a Defense Department. War Department. Talking about no legality, ultimate lethality, prepare for war. And while the Trump administration has shown itself to be incredibly chaotic, and maybe we've kind of been saved somewhat by the chaos in terms of the potential for this kind of massive global conflagration, we shouldn't depend on that. We shouldn't depend on the overall weakness, the fecklessness, the incompetency. We can't depend on that because it's not really even about that. It's about an overall system that he is essentially riding the wave on, and it's crashing very hard. That wave is crashing very hard on itself, and so we should be prepared for that, especially those of us in the West who are not going to be a party to the changing global alliances and the rising multipolar world. We won't be a party to that. We will have to take care of things where we are.
If he came in, he's a second term president. If he came in, he's got a mandate, he'd be in a perfectly good position to say, right, we're going to have to raise interest rates. You got to get this under control. Food's too expensive, rent's through the roof. People can't afford the utilities. Basically, everyone's maxed out on credit card debt. We're gonna go hard. It's gonna be tough love. raise interest rates as long as it takes. It's happened before in America. You know, George Bush Sr., interest rates during the late 80s, you know, in the teens, okay? We survived, and many thrived, and many did well. People still bought houses and still, you know, the property market still moved, and all those things happened. This president is wanting to cut interest rates. He's threatening the central bank head or the chairman, saying, "You're not doing what I told you. You want to cut interest rates because we want to put more heroin into financial amphetamines into the stock market." Okay, so that would be perfectly within his purview, and I don't think they'd be able to, the opposition Democrats wouldn't be able to roast him for it because the economy is in a dire state structurally. But that's not happened. Instead, the level of incompetency, you know what, this is, and I hate to draw it back to Israel, but if you look at the cabinet, and I made this point many times, but you have to reiterate this, the cabinet is full of Israel picks, of Mary Madison's short list, the hand-picked people from the Secretary of State right around the president. So a lot of these people who are, foreign policy related, I don't know about, besides national security and foreign policy and state, I'm not, definitely all the ambassador positions that touch the Middle East or Israel, their only skill set or identifiable traits are that they're going to do what's good for Israel. That's why they were handpicked, and Donald Trump basically abided by every single person on that short list. In fact, he gets calls about replacing them with people that aren't performing for Israel. That's known, okay? People being removed because they're not performing for Israel. So that means that all of the other areas of competency that someone in the government or the cabinet needs to be able to perform on, basically they're no good in any of these other areas, and they are largely incompetent because they're not selected for any of those skill sets. They're only selected for a very narrow remit, which is that they're going to do what's good for Israel. That's it. And that's a good percentage of the cabinet. This is a nightmare. Imagine if you ran a company like this and you selected all of your operations director, your CEO, all of these people based on one little narrow sort of thing. Did they like, whatever, horses or ponies, or do they like Italian food or whatever? The company is going to crash and burn. That's the way the U.S. government is functioning right now. It's crashing and burning because they've allowed a foreign country and a well-financed foreign lobby to basically handpick half the government. That means they're going to fail on every other area of responsibility. But Israel doesn't care. Israel doesn't care about the conservatives, the right, the left. They know that if this fails, that they're going to buy the Democrats. And they're going to do the exactly same thing. They don't care about the conservative movement, about Trump, about the Republicans, and all these things that Mark Levine bangs on about. Constitutional conservative. They don't care about any of that because they own the left and the right. The lobby does. So they don't care if it all goes. They don't care if Donald Trump gets impeached. They don't care. If his approval ratings cratered to 10%, he's been the best president for Israel in history. The lobby couldn't give a toss because he'll be replaced by a Democrat who is going to do what Israel wants. And now they've set the precedent that the lobby can shortlist the entire cabinet or most of it, all these key positions that have to do with security or foreign policy, with Israeli picks, loyalists, and the head of the Pentagon. Imagine that. Israel selected the head of the U.S. DOD, the Pentagon, and then got him to change it to the Department of War. This is a foreign country. This is a disaster for the United States. Do people realize what they're witnessing here? That you put somebody who is totally unqualified and the head of the biggest military in the world with no qualifications at all, that's handpicked and selected by a foreign lobby. I mean, think about that for a moment. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, this is one of those moments. They're already gearing up. The CIA, all these spooks, are already gearing up for their candidates to oppose to get out the MAGA seats, the GOP seats in the midterms, and they're all going to essentially be the spokespeople for that exact same Israeli lobby. Come midterms, this is how it goes, because ultimately it's these types that see just the same vision. It's the same vision. It's all about how to maintain whatever they see as hegemony out there. And they see Israel as their only hope for that, and they're willing to go the distance for it in order to make that happen. And and that's exactly true. Not even the modicum of trying to keep what already is an incredibly unjust and unequal and corporate-controlled system afloat, though even that arena is neglected. And that's what we basically have now, is the complete and total neglect of even just the modicum of governance to keep people afloat during this time. We saw that with the whole shutdown fiasco. But Patrick, we are out of time here. I have your Substack and 21st Century Wire in the video description, so I want people to check out your work there. Let me just check to see that's all there. Yes, it is. And anything else you want to say before we head out?
No, that's it. Thanks for the conversation. I wish it could be more positive, but I mean, anyway, hope for maybe something good will happen on the run up to Christmas, and we can have a better conversation in the future.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely be in touch soon, Patrick. We'll head off together. Everybody, at about 3:30 Eastern, 45 minutes, I'll be on George Galloway's Moats, so be